You know that feeling, that restless ache, that sense that somewhere out there,
Mm.
there's something missing.
Yeah, like the perfect partner, or maybe the perfect situation is just waiting.
Exactly. And if you could just find it, then you'd feel complete, you know, loved, whole.
It's such a common human feeling, isn't it? This deep belief that love is, well, external.
Something you have to seek out, maybe even like earn. It puts the source of love completely outside of us.
Right. But what if that whole idea, as, ingrained as it is,
Hmm.
what if it's maybe not the full picture?
Right.
What if you've actually been looking for something that's, well, already inside you?
Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive into some really fascinating source material that challenges that exact notion head on.
Yeah, it proposes that love isn't something you find, but something you actually are.
We're going to really dig into excerpts from the book Loveability, Knowing How to Love and Be Loved by Robert Holden.
And it's a source that it weaves together quite a mix of perspectives, doesn't it?
It really does. Psychology, spirituality, poetry, um, personal stories.
And it even touches on how maybe down the line, science like physics or biology might actually align with these ideas about connection.
So our mission today is to unpack this core concept of lovability as it's laid out in these sources.
What does it really mean to understand yourself as love?
And how could that understanding, like, tangibly change your life and your relationship?
Get ready, because it might make you rethink some pretty core assumptions. The sources offer some genuinely surprising insights.
A powerful shift in perspective,
Yeah.
potentially. Okay, let's jump right in.
So the central argument, the absolute core idea this source material wants us to grasp, it's pretty radical.
It really is this idea that you don't need to look for love because fundamentally you are made of love.
That's it. The source argues that the main task isn't the search for love,
Hmm.
but the acceptance of this truth, your inherent lovability.
And they're clear this isn't just like positive thinking or a nice sentiment.
No, it's presented as crucial because of this principle, like
That's
attracts like. The idea is when you truly know you are love, you get comfortable in that energy, right?
Yeah.
And that makes you naturally open to attracting and receiving love.
It reminds me of that Rumi quote they reference. To find the beloved, you must become the beloved.
Exactly. It points the compass inward. The journey is internal realization.
And the sources note Rumi's own struggle, even with his mastery of words, to actually explain love itself.
Right, he wrote something like, "Whatever I say, when I arrive at love itself, I'm ashamed of my words."
Because ultimately,
Only love itself can explain love. It suggests there's a clarity beyond language.
that's fascinating. And the source really emphasizes love isn't just a word or an idea or even just a feeling.
No, it's not owned by one person or one religion or even current science. It's presented as much, much bigger than that.
So, how do they describe it?
More like an experience you step into, almost like walking through an unexpected door.
Allowing yourself into that space.
Yeah. And they bring in other related ideas like seeing babies as just pure energy, like a vibration of love.
And Emerson calling love the synonym for God.
It all circles back to this core idea. Love is your original energy, what the source calls the unconditioned self.
So the understanding is, if you know this truth about yourself,
Then you already have the innate knowledge of how to love and be loved. Identifying with love, seeing it as your true nature, that's what makes you feel safe at home.
there really is a profound shift. If love is who you are, then feeling loved isn't about external validation.
Exactly. It's about reconnecting with that core identity.
Okay, and building on that, the sources explore this urge to love and be loved, not just as a desire.
But as our primary desire, as fundamental as, air or water.
Wow. And the way the source defined life's purpose from that view. It's striking.
It suggests you didn't come here to, make yourself into somebody important.
But to simply be what you already are.
Right. The presence of love and all those daily things, the careers, the mortgages.
The necessary busyness.
Yeah, the source warns they can actually become distractions. They make us forget this essential truth about ourselves.
There's even something they call the mathematics of love.
Uh-huh. It basically suggests the more you allow yourself to be loved, the more you naturally grow, experience health, happiness, success.
And conversely.
Not loving enough or feeling unloved is presented as a kind of root cause of problems, personally and even, globally.
Speaking of roots, they bring in a psychological angle, referencing Freud.
Yeah, while his work is complex, the point highlighted is his idea about communal life being founded on love and work. But the real key concept they pull out.
Is Freud's idea of separation as the root of suffering.
Exactly. that deep feeling of anxious apartness.
And this is where the concept of the ego fits in, as the source describes it.
Right. The learned self, that identity we construct based on fear, based on that sense of being separate.
And that's the voice asking, am I lovable? Am I enough?
Constantly questioning. So if the ego builds this identity from fear and separation,
Then love is presented as the antidote.
the ultimate antidote, yeah. The source suggests love can wake you up from the hypnosis of separation. It dissolves those mistaken ideas.
And brings you back to your authentic, unconditioned self.
That feeling of separation, from this viewpoint, it's seen as an illusion, like a dream the ego is having.
While the heart, your true essence, is already awake.
Exactly. And this echoes themes and other traditions mentioned, like the Bhagavad Gita seeing love as this wise energy behind creation.
Or Autobiography of a Yogi, describing life as a divine romance.
It's a consistent thread, this idea of underlying unity and love.
Okay, so if that's the truth, we are love, separation is an illusion. Where does that feeling of not being lovable actually come from? How do we lose touch?
The sources point pretty directly towards childhood experiences, specifically the impact of what they call conditional love.
Right, that idea that love isn't automatic, it's something you have to, earn or qualify for.
Most of us probably got messages growing up, subtle or not, like, you're lovable if, or you're lovable when.
It teaches love as a transaction, something you have to merit.
And the consequences, the source explains, are pretty big. It leads us to adapt, maybe excessively, to meet those conditions.
Potentially abandoning our authentic self.
Yeah, to build up a pleasing image or a persona specifically designed to win that conditional love. It's described as a fundamental loss of being.
And this adaptation, this trying to earn love, can harden into these different childhood roles we carry around.
Exactly. The source outlines several patterns it sees as common, strategies we develop.
Like the helping child.
Yeah, whose belief might be, if I help, I'll be loved. They become the constant giver, attracting receivers, often leading to burnout or feeling sacrificed.
Okay, and the independent child.
Their thought might be, if I'm independent, I can't get hurt. So they build the self-contained strength.
Which seems protective.
But it actually becomes a block to real trust, to letting love in. They mention an anecdote about William, whose orphanage experience reinforced this.
Then there's the rebel child.
Whose inner feeling is maybe, I'm unlovable anyway. So the rebellion is, ironically, a call for love.
But it pushes it away.
Actively pushes it away. They might be drawn to drama, find love scary because it means surrendering control.
And a genius child.
Believing, if I know how, I can be loved. Using competence, achievement as the currency for love. They mentioned Tony, the professor, still trying to earn love through PhDs.
Wow. It's really insightful how the source connects these roles to the stories we tell ourselves.
Yes, and that distinction is crucial. Stories aren't just the events, but the meaning we gave them.
And we carry those meanings, those interpretations, forward.
Often unconsciously, projecting them onto current relationships, like the example of Alice, who interpreted her father's early death as abandonment and then kept experiencing that pattern.
It's like we're actors, but we act as if the ego wrote a fixed biography.
Instead of realizing we, from our deeper self, can actually rewrite the autobiography.
And this ties right back to those core painful beliefs. I am not lovable, and I'm not enough.
Exactly. Those beliefs, fueled by self-judgment, just obscure the real self.
Leading to comparisons, trying to fix the outside instead of the inside belief.
Like trying to polish the reflection instead of healing the face in the mirror.
Yeah. Which brings us perfectly to the next concept. Relationships as mirrors.
The mirror principle, as they call it. Essentially, every relationship reflects the relationship you have with yourself.
So how we relate to ourselves is mirrored back to us by others. Why does the source say this happens?
Well, a couple reasons. One is that idea of our essential oneness, our shared interest in love.
Okay.
But another is just the nature of perception itself. They use that Kant quote. We see things not as they are, but as we are.
Perception is projection.
Powerful way to put it. How we see ourselves, colored by those beliefs like, I'm not lovable,
Is what we project onto others, and so it's what we see reflected back.
and the implication is striking. The more you genuinely love yourself, the easier it is to love others.
Yeah.
The more you can actually recognize and receive the love that's coming towards you. Precisely. Conversely, if you withhold love from yourself, you'll look for it in others, maybe desperately.
But you won't really be able to see it or let it in when it's offered.
Because you're blocking that recognition within yourself first, which connects right into the discussion of unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
Yeah.
Meaning Literally no conditions, no strings attached.
Exactly. No debt. They use that beautiful Hafiz poem about the sun. It never says to the earth, "You owe me."
And look what happens with that kind of love.
It lights up everything. But the source also warns against idolatry.
Making another person the source of your love or worth.
Yeah. When you put someone on that pedestal, they inevitably become a source of fear and anxiety because it's just too much pressure. They mention the author's story with Mike Ferber.
Where idolizing him led to his own self-worth swinging wildly based on Mike's moods.
Leading to fear and self-hate, it really reframes "I love you."
So according to this source, it's not about need or finding your source in someone else.
It's a statement of recognition. "I love you" means I see you.
Seeing their true eternal loveliness, beyond the ego, beyond the roles.
Seeing the whole person with the heart, and it's also a recognition of, like, familiarity. A reunion.
Like timeless friends, recognizing each other, echoing ideas from the Upanishads or Buber's Eyebow.
Recognizing that shared essence, that same underlying love in the other person, seeing each other into being.
They even offer a practical exercise. Tell me a way you make it difficult for people to love you.
That exercise, simple as it sounds, it's designed to shine a light on those projections, those self-imposed blocks.
To show that love itself isn't the hard part.
It's the defenses, the mistaken beliefs we put up that make it seem hard.
Okay, so if these blocks come from fear, from mistaken identity, how do we dismantle them?
The sources really dig into the relationship between love and fear, identifying that core fear, "I am not lovable."
Which then breeds guilt and that conviction. Something's wrong with me.
And the ego, built on fear and separation, is naturally afraid of love because its whole premise is that it isn't lovable.
And that core fear gets projected onto relationships.
Manifesting as all those anxieties. What if I get hurt? What if I'm rejected? What if it doesn't last?
But the powerful message here is that love heals fear.
Yes, it doesn't ignore fear, it actually brings it into view so you can learn from it.
And ultimately, choose to let it go. To just be the loving person you are.
Exactly. Love and fear, the source is stress. They just can't coexist in the same space.
And that principle, if it hurts, it isn't love.
Right. Pain doesn't come from love itself, but from thinking, feeling, behaving in unloving ways towards yourself or others. There's that true love checklist mentioned.
To help identify common mistakes causing pain.
Yeah, things often mistaken for love, like unhealthy sacrifice, trying to fix or control others, always trying not to get hurt.
Those are strategies based on fear, not love.
Exactly. And this pain, this fear, it's tied directly to holding grievances.
Which is seen as a sign you've forgotten who you really are. That lovable self.
Grievances aren't inevitable, the source says. They're a choice.
Which leads to the power of forgiveness.
And forgiveness here isn't just about pardoning someone else. It's framed as an attitude, a training in vision.
To see reality clearly by choosing love over grievances.
Consciously choosing it. Even grief, the source suggests, is a call for love.
So forgiveness encourages you to respond lovingly to your own grief.
To let yourself be loved through the pain instead of adding judgment. Powerful principles emerge here.
Like, true love holds no grievances.
And it's the grievances that hold you back, trapping you in repeating history.
So forgiveness changes the past and present by giving them a new purpose.
Guiding you towards love. They mention an amnesty prayer, too, for consciously letting go of resentments.
It sounds like actively dismantling the ego's painful story so only love remains.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, so if we get the concept where love, fear creates blocks, forgiveness helps dissolve them, what about the practical side? How do we actually live this, express it?
The source acknowledges this can be tricky. While love's nature is universal, our expressions vary. Love differences.
Styles, types, languages, concepts from psychology and sociology.
Exactly. And relationship difficulties often stem simply from expressing love in ways the other person doesn't recognize or receive easily.
Can you give examples?
Sure. Differences in social participation, how introverts and extroverts navigate social events together, or managing the pace, one person's rhythm feeling too fast or slow for the other.
Or differing needs for togetherness and space.
Right. That balance between closeness and needing alone time. The source offers practical tools from the Loveability program.
Like using love maps.
Yeah, asking intentional questions about the relationship's health, how love is expressed and received, acts of kindness.
Other tools mentioned.
Things like sharing poems, using sentence completions like, I feel loved by you when, writing actual love letters, creative activities, especially with kids.
And the principle behind these isn't about creating love.
No, it's that love's nature is to show itself. Our job is attention, not creation. Give attention to love, and it shows you how to express it.
Making way for love is just removing the blocks, the condition.
Exactly, and the sources constantly reiterate love is present, always.
So saying I love you isn't creating it, it's acknowledging love is here.
Recognizing what's already available. And to connect with that presence, they suggest simple, profound practices.
Like the 100 breaths dedication.
Just consciously dedicating breaths throughout the day to opening to love's presence. Or dedicating the whole day, today belongs to love, let me not fear.
Asking intentional questions too. How can I be more loving here?
Directing your mind. And meditation, like metta bhavana, loving kindness.
Extending that feeling systematically.
To yourself, loved ones, strangers, difficult people, the whole world. Cultivating that attitude of love.
These aren't about becoming love.
They're about aligning with the truth that you are love, letting that truth express itself through you.
Okay, so just to quickly recap what we've unpacked today from these really rich sources. We started by challenging that common idea that love is out there to be found.
Exploring the counter idea. Love is who you are at your core, your inherent lovability.
Then we looked at how that sense of separation, often from childhood conditional love and the ego's fear, creates the illusion of being unlovable.
Right, that feeling of not enough.
And we dove into the tools offered.
Yeah.
Relationships as mirrors, the nature of unconditional love, and the huge role of forgiveness in letting go of fear and grievances.
Key perspectives for dissolving those blocks.
Finally, we look at practical ways to live this, recognizing love's presence, using mindful attention and practices to allow it to express itself.
Moving from just understanding it intellectually to actually experiencing it.
Yeah, this deep dive wasn't just theoretical. These sources offer a real pathway to experiencing more love by living from that truth of who you are.
It really does invite you to pause that outward search, doesn't it? And just see what happens when you operate from the love within.
And maybe a final thought from the source material for you to mull over. If only love is real, as the source suggests, and if it's the heart of success and the real work of your life.
What does that invite you to dedicate yourself to right now?
Or maybe even more pointedly, what would your life actually look like? What would shift if you truly believed the truth about yourself? No matter how incredibly beautiful that truth might be.